Hello everyone, you're watching a video on an updated Whopperflower farming guide. Without further ado, let's get into the routes. The first route requires you to head to the teleporter just above and to the left of Wangshuin. The first Whopperflower is located right along the edge of the coast, right behind the teleporter. Once you take out the Whopperflower, continue heading up north along the coast and you can find 3 mint plants. Pluck these to spawn another Whopperflower. Once you take out the second Whopperflower, all you have to do is head south into the hills and there are more plants you can pluck in order to spawn a Whopperflower. Once you pluck the right sweet flower, the third and final Whopperflower will spawn. Route 2 is located all the way to the right of Mondstadt, right above the Crowd Regisvine. From the domain, do a 180 and head towards the opening where the Crowd Regisvine is, and on the ledge below you can see the first Whopperflower. Once you take out the first Whopperflower, start heading southwest where you'll find a couple mint flowers. One of them will be able to spawn a Whopperflower. Once you take out the second Whopperflower, start heading towards the beach where you can find the third and final Whopperflower of this route. It's all the way below the cliff on the beach. Route 3 is located at the teleporter all the way in the top left of Liat. From the teleporter, the first Whopperflower is located right next to the teleporter. You don't even have to move, you can just click F. After taking out the first Whopperflower, you need to head southeast and cross the water. After you pass the bridge, the second Whopperflower will be on your left. To spawn the second Whopperflower, you have to pick up a sweet flower. There are a bunch in the location, so you need to make sure you pick the right one. Once you finish taking out the second Whopperflower, head straight south where there is going to be 3 mint plants, and you can pluck those to spawn the third Whopperflower. After you take out the third Whopperflower, continue heading east along the path, and when you get to the fork in the road, make a left. The fourth location is actually located at the very bottom of the cliff, right near the beach. To spawn the fourth Whopperflower, you just have to pick up the sweet flowers. Once you take out the fourth Whopperflower, continue along the coast where you can find at the very edge of the peninsula the fifth Whopperflower location. At the edge of the peninsula, there is a small rock outcrop and a couple bushes. Right next to them are some sweet flowers that you need to pick up in order to spawn the fifth Whopperflower. After you take out the fifth Whopperflower, head west and land along the path where you will find the last Whopperflower. Route 4 and 5 are located right at the entrance to Dragonspine from Mondstadt. From the teleporter at the base camp of Dragonspine, head northeast where you will find the first Whopperflower. After taking out the first Whopperflower, head southeast where the second Whopperflower is located. This one does require you to pick up some mint plants, so be aware of this. The next location requires you to teleport to the teleporter right below Springvale. Head northeast where you can find the third Whopperflower after climbing up the first cliff. After taking out the third Whopperflower, climb the cliff to the east where you can find the fourth and final Whopperflower. Route 6 and 7 are located to the left of Liat, right at the teleporter near Tianshu Valley. From the teleporter, start heading south. After the stone archway, you can see in the distance some trees. The 3 Whopperflowers will only spawn once you get near this location. After taking out the 3 Whopperflowers, teleport back to the teleporter and head east. You can just continue following the path along the hill until you get to the very top. At the top of the hill, you can locate the next Whopperflower right next to the crevice that leads to the Pyroregis vine. After making sure that your loot doesn't fall into the Pyroregis vine crevice, head east where you can see in the ravine is going to be 2 more Whopperflowers. Once you take out the 2 Whopperflowers, you're going to want to continue along the path that heads southwards. You're going to face a cliff where you're going to need to climb up it in order to get to the next location. At the very top of the cliff and a little inwards is going to be your next Whopperflower location. From here, you're going to head southeast to the next location, and I would hug the cliffs because you're going to need to climb them in order to get up. I would not recommend going down into the ruins. At the very top of the cliff is 3 sweet flowers. Pluck them in order to spawn a Whopperflower. Route 8 and 9 are located to the left of Leah at the teleporter near Mount Alzang. From the teleporter, you're going to want to head east and glide all the way across to the other side of the ravine where there's going to be 3 sweet flowers. Once you pluck the sweet flowers, a Whopperflower will spawn. After taking out the first Whopperflower, you're going to want to head north and cross the ravine once again. The second Whopperflower location is right next to the shrine up above. You have to pluck a sweet flower in order to spawn it in. After taking out the second Whopperflower, continue heading east along the edge of the cliff where you will find the third Whopperflower. This one is just in the world and does not require you to pick up any flowers. After taking out the fourth Whopperflower, eat yourself off the cliff to the north, where you will be gliding towards 2 flaming flower stamens. All you have to do is hit the flaming flowers in order to spawn the final Whopperflower. Once you take out that Whopperflower, you're going to have to teleport back to Mount Alzang and start heading southwest. The next Whopperflower will be at the very base of the stone pillar. After taking out the Whopperflower right next to the river, start heading east where you will go along the path, climb up the little cliff, and you will find 3 sweet flowers. Pluck the sweet flowers in order to spawn the final Whopperflower. Route 10 and 11 are located on the path in the middle of Lian, going above Kuiju Slope and below Julian Karst. From the teleporter below Julian Karst, continue along the path past the house where you will find 3 sweet flowers. Collect the sweet flowers in order to spawn the first Whopperflower. After taking out the Whopperflower, continue along the path to the east, and further up ahead near the rock outcrop will be more sweet flowers. Pluck the sweet flowers in order to spawn the Whopperflower. After taking out the Whopperflower, teleport to the teleporter further up the path and climb the cliffs to your south. After you're up top on top of the cliff, continue heading east where you will find the next Whopperflower location. As usual, you need to pick up the sweet flowers in order to spawn the Whopperflower. After leaving the crime scene, start heading east and you will go back into the road. There will be a cluster of mint that you need to pick up in order to spawn the last Whopperflower. Route 12 is on the very left of Lian at Mount Hulao. From the teleporter, head northwest and you will find a group of sweet flowers. Pluck the sweet flowers in order to spawn the Whopperflower. Route 13 and 14 are located in Left Lia at Qingyun Peak and the teleporter below it. From the teleporter at Qingyun Peak, start heading east into the distance. You're going to want to glide a fair bit before you finally drop down, where there'll be some flowers you can pluck to spawn the Whopperflower. After taking out the Whopperflower, you're going to teleport to the teleporter right below the Statue of the Seven and head northwest around the rocks. You're going to glide a little bit and go down to the very bottom of the basin. Make sure you have enough stamina in order to glide to the next location. Once you see the Hilly Churro hut, go ahead and just go down to the very bottom, where you will find some sweet flowers. Pluck the sweet flowers in order to spawn the Whopperflower. After taking out the Whopperflower, continue heading up the path northwards, where you will find some more flowers that you can pick up in order to spawn the next Whopperflower. Route 15 is located to the bottom left of Lia, and you have to teleport to the domain down here. From the domain, all you have to do is look right and there will be a cluster of sweet flowers. Pick them up to spawn the next Whopperflower. For Route 16, you need to head over to the Statue of the Seven in the upper right of Lia. It's right next to Dragonspine. From the Statue of the Seven, you're going to head southeast to the little platform connected by a bridge. There will be some sweet flowers you can pluck to spawn the next Whopperflower. After which, you can head south all the way down to the beach. The next Whopperflower will only spawn once you're close by. After taking out the second Whopperflower, continue heading south, cutting through Yaoyang Shoal, and in the far distance along the beach you can find the third Whopperflower. Route 17 is located in Mondstadt at the domain right above the Wolf Boss. From the domain, head southwest and climb the mini cliff, and you will find the Whopperflower. If you get a quest to save Reckless Pallid, ignore it and go along your day. Route 18 and 19 are located in the lower right of Mondstadt, right next to the Electro Cube. From the domain, head straight west up on the cliff and you will find the Whopperflower is right next to the cliff overlooking Dadwapa Gorge. After taking out this Whopperflower, go ahead and glide to the other side of Dadwapa Gorge, and the second Whopperflower, it will be located on the cliff on the other side. After taking out the second Whopperflower, go ahead and head to the teleporter right near Cape Oath. From there, you're going to want to head straight north, where in the lower area is going to be your third Whopperflower. Route 20 is located in Stormterror's lair at the very left teleporter. From the teleporter, head southwest and the Whopperflower would be located at the bottom of the ravine. Route 21 and 22 are located in the very center of Lia near Guili Plains. It's right above Lia Harbor. From the teleporter, you're going to head straight east where there will be a Whopperflower hidden among the rocks. After taking out the Whopperflower, you're going to head north along the beach where there will be another Cryo Whopperflower at the very peak of the beach. After which, you're going to want to head back to the teleporter, and you're going to want to head north around the rocks before going east. Right next to the road, you will find a group of sweet flowers that you can pluck to spawn a Whopperflower. After leaving the crime scene, continue heading east where there will be 2 more Whopperflowers. Route 23 and 24 are located in the upper right of Mondstadt near Starsnatch Cliff and the Stormbearer Mountains. From the domain, head north where you will find on the lower platform a Whopperflower. After taking out the Whopperflower, teleport to the teleporter in the very upper right of Mondstadt and start heading southwards. There will be a cluster of sweet flowers that you can pluck to spawn the Whopperflower. Route 25 is located in Qingse village at the very top of Lier. From the teleporter, head along the road southwards, where in the grass right outside of the house you will find some sweet flowers you can pluck to spawn the Whopperflower. Route 26 is located at the teleporter to the top left of Lier Harbor. From the teleporter, you're going to want to head south and continue gliding until you find a hole in the ground. Head down into the hole where you will find 2 Whopperflowers. Route 27 and 28 are located at the top of Lier Harbor, right next to the stone gate. From the teleporter, head north where you will find a cluster of sweet flowers you can pluck to spawn the Whopperflower. From there, you're going to head back to the teleporter. You can either walk there or actually teleport back. There's not much of a time difference. After which, you're going to head south and along the beach will be your next Whopperflower. You will find a cluster of sweet flowers you can pick to spawn the Whopperflower. Route 29 and 30 are located in the lower right of Lier and the Guyan Stone Forest. From the domain, you're going to head to the backside to the east and climb up the cliffs. You can also just walk along the path normally to get to the very top, but I find this is a little bit easier to climb along the back. That way you can just do a straight shot to the next location. At the very top, there will be a sweet flower that's right next to the path. Pluck it in order to spawn the Whopperflower. After you're done here taking out this Whopperflower, leave the crime scene and continue heading west. Your next location will be a further ways down the beach, so you're going to walk it for a while. There will be a single sweet flower located in the middle of the sand along the beach. Pluck it in order to spawn the second Whopperflower. Once you're done with the second Whopperflower, head to the teleporter in the northern part of Guyan Stone Forest. Then head west where you will find a cluster of sweet flowers you can pluck to spawn the third Whopperflower. Route 31 and 32 are located at the Stone Gate, which is right between Lier and Mondstadt. From the teleporter, head east where you'll find a pressure plate. Put a geoconstruct on top of it and it will summon an airflow. Go up the airflow and continue heading east where you will find the next Whopperflower location. At the very edge of the cliff will be some ruins. Inside of them will be some sweet flowers you can pluck to spawn the Whopperflower. After you're done with this Whopperflower, head north where you will find a cluster of lantern grass in the valley below. pluck them in order to spawn the second Whopperflower. From there, continue heading even more north where you will find an island in the middle of the lake. On that island will be a cluster of sweet flowers you can pluck to spawn the third Whopperflower. After taking out the third Whopperflower, head back to the teleporter at Stone Gate and start heading northwards back on the path to Mondstadt. In front of the bridge will be a tree right next to the river. Along with it will be some sweet flowers you can pluck to spawn the next Whopperflower. After you're done taking out the Whopperflower, continue heading up the path towards Mondstadt, and once you're past the bridge, you're going to go ahead and climb up the cliff to your right. Then head even more east where there's another cliff and you need to climb that. At the very top will be the next Whopperflower. Route 33 is to the very left of Leia, at the teleporter near the Luhua Pool and Quiju Slope. From the teleporter, head north and go into the valley. At the very edge of the valley on the other side will be a tall pillar. Head next to the pillar where, if you're close enough, 2 Whopperflowers will spawn. Route 34 is in Mondstadt to the right of Stormterror's lair. From the teleporter, head southwest down the path where you will find 2 mist flowers. Head in between the mist flowers and a Whopperflower will spawn. The Whopperflower will only spawn if you head to the spot right between the 2 mist flowers. Route 35 is located in the teleporter to the very right of Stormterror's lair. From the teleporter, head northwest. There's also an air current here if you want to go up and then glide towards the next location. The Whopperflower is located right next to the lake out in the open. Route 36 is in the top right of Mondstadt in the Stormbearer Mountains. From the teleporter, head north along the path until you get to the plains. From there, make a slight left and in the grass you will find some sweet flowers you can pluck to spawn the Whopperflower. From there, head to the northeast past the Anemo Cube, and at the very edge right before the waterfall you will find the second Whopperflower. Route 37 is located at the entrance to Dragonspine from Mondstadt. From the teleporter, you're going to head down the path to the southeast. After a way down the path, you're going to head to the right where there are some cliffs. Go up to the very top of the cliffs where there is a shrine. At the shrine will be a cluster of mint flowers you can pluck to spawn in the Whopperflower. Route 38 is at the teleporter going up the path towards the top of Dragonspine. From the teleporter, head north where you will find a path that goes into a cave system. Head into the cave system where, if you drop down on a ledge, a Whopperflower will spawn. Route 39 is located to the top left of Leah at the domain. From the domain, you're going to head straight west across the lake if you have the stamina. If not, you're going to have to go around. And then past the tree along the peninsula will be a Whopperflower. And then finally, if you still don't have enough materials, you can also do the Blossoms of Wealth. If you guys didn't know, any monster you defeat during the Leyline Blossom will drop their material. So at the very end, you don't even have to use your resin to actually use the blossom, you can just leave and you'll still have the materials. Blossoms of Wealth do spawn Whopperflowers, so it's a good way to get free Whopperflowers that otherwise you wouldn't be able to. Anyways guys, I thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.